Hello there and welcome back. Today we are making a summer soup, and guess what? We're also talking about hormones and belly fat. And believe me, I know a little bit about belly fat. It started many years ago. We're going to talk about that today. But I'm excited to share this delicious soup with you. Soup is a great way to keep your body fueled, to get fiber, vegetables, protein, and really encourage beautiful, strong digestion. My name is Steph, and this is Nourish Me TV. I'm a holistic health practitioner. I'm a chef. I'm a mom of 3 kids, and I've been married almost 30 years. I know what it's like to have a busy, full life, and I know how hard it can be to manage your stress. In my world, the most important thing is eating real, clean, delicious food, managing stress, balancing your hormones, and creating your most fulfilled life. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here today. This month's theme in my online membership, which is called Body Wisdom, this month's theme is belly fat. And so today we're gonna make a beautiful, delicious soup, but I also wanna talk about hormones and cortisol and digestion. And if you want to learn more, please join me in my monthly membership. We're having a great time there, learning all different kinds of things. We focus again on food, stress, and creating your amazing day for a life that you want to live. Let's get started. I'm gonna get the soup on the stove while we're talking here about hormones and vegetables and fiber and protein. I just have a quart stock pot here. I added a little bit of olive oil, and let's start with a little bit of red onion. Some people call it purple onion. It's red. It's red. Sorry, it's called a red onion. So what I do first is cut off the ends. That's the very first way to start the onion, and then cut it in half, because right away now you have a flat surface to work on. So I don't want to go crazy with the onions in this recipe, but I do want to give it some nice flavor, and so we're going to kind of build on the flavors here as we go. So take your, take your half of an onion and place it face down, and I'm just going to do, let's say this is a really big red onion, so I'm going to do about 3 or 4 slices like so, and then I'm going to set this other piece aside, and then I'm just going to turn it on its side. You don't have to be perfect when you're cutting your vegetables, okay? I know that a lot of people feel like they don't want to cook because they feel like they're gonna mess up and it's not gonna taste good. If you're cooking with whole food, amazing ingredients, you don't have to worry. It's going to be delicious because it's gonna be fresh, it's gonna be made by you, and it's gonna be yummy and full of nutrition. Okay, so in the onions go, and I'm gonna go ahead and get these cooking on the stove top because I like to let onions cook for about 5 to 7 minutes. Olive oil and onions, let's begin. The next thing we're gonna add is celery. And I just washed these off, and I've got 2 nice, big, beautiful stalks of celery, and let's just cut them right down the middle here. Oh yeah. And I don't want my celery bites to be too big, but I do want them to make the soup feel, substantial. So I want to have a nice amount of celery. We're chopping up the celery, and I do start a lot of soups with the onion, celery, and carrots. And oftentimes I will do fresh garlic as well, because these are all really great for your digestion. Onions and garlic especially are considered a prebiotic, so they help your digestion work a little bit stronger. And then of course, carrots and celery have a lot of fiber. I'm gonna put the celery aside here for a moment while the onions are cooking, and then we will chop up some carrots as well. Fiber is one of the most important things in your diet. We talk a lot about protein being very important, and here's why. Because protein stabilizes your blood sugar. Stabilizing your blood sugar helps your cortisol levels. Helping your cortisol levels helps your reproductive hormone levels. So I find it so fascinating how our body is so incredibly smart and amazing, and how it knows how to take care of us. The problem is we push and push and push, and we ask a lot out of our bodies all the time. We eat on the run, we are eating fast, maybe we're even having a conversation that is stressful while we're eating. All of these things are giving your body a little bit of a challenge to focus on digesting your food. So we want to hit it from a couple different angles. We want to eat more fiber and protein to stabilize your blood sugar. And fiber comes from fruits and vegetables when they're eaten in their whole form. So that's why soup is such a great way to get good nutrition into your body, because it most of the time incorporates fiber, protein, and fat, and also lots of vegetables. The more vegetables you eat, the better you're going to feel. Vegetables are detoxifying. So there's a lot of really great things about soup and about eating whole, real food. So that is step number one, is not eating on the run. Focusing on your food when you're eating it. Try not to have difficult, challenging conversation. Not checking your email, not checking your phone, not watching a stressful movie on TV. All of these things will inhibit the strength of your digestion, which, like I said, affects everything. Your blood sugar, your stress response, and even your reproductive hormones. So let's talk about that for a minute, because most of the time when we're talking about balancing hormones, we automatically go to thinking about reproductive hormones. And that is true. But what I want you to know is that your body is full of lots of different kinds of hormones. You have hunger hormones, you have fullness hormones, you have reproductive hormones, you have insulin, you have cortisol, you have adrenaline. All of them work together in this beautiful system. So when we're talking about balancing hormones, that's why the most important thing you can do is eat real food, balance your stress. Those two things together will give you the best results. Okay, so I'm gonna pop this celery and carrots into my soup pot real quick. Of course, it already smells amazing. As soon as you start sauteing the onions and then the vegetables, it starts to make things smell really good. You can hear my soup is sizzling away over here. I turned down the heat just a little bit, but so far it's just the olive oil and the vegetables. Now I'm gonna go ahead and prepare some kale. This is dinosaur kale, or lacito, I don't even know how to pronounce it, kale. And I like it because it has a really nice texture, and you can chop it up really nice, and it adds beautiful green vegetables to your soup. Now you could, of course, you could add spinach instead. Also in the spring and summer, red chard or Swiss chard or green chard, beautiful lettuce or greens, I should say, that are available all summer and spring. And those are beautiful, beautiful greens to add to your soups, to your salads, especially sauteed. So one thing I want to mention is the other cool thing about eating soup is that your vegetables are cooked. And cooked vegetables, even in the summertime. Now, don't get me wrong, we're going to be doing a lot of salads this summer, and I love a big salad. But if you're feeling bloated, if you're feeling like your belly is really full, you might find that cooked food, cooked vegetables are much easier to digest, easier on your tummy, and won't make you feel quite so full and bloated in your belly. So this month's theme is belly fat and bloating and digestion, and what you're eating and how you're eating it is what is affecting that. So again, eating on the run is going to make you feel bloated because your body's doing a lot of different things and not focusing on digestion. So anyway, when you cook your food, it gives your body a little heads up, a little bit of digestive boost, a little digestive jump start. And especially when you're making soup, you are cooking these vegetables in the broth, which you are then going to eat. So you're not losing anything as far as nutritional value goes. I have a little bit of fresh basil here too that I'm going to chop up so that we can add that to the soup. I want to talk about number 2 way to reduce belly fat and to not be so bloated. That is to wind down before bedtime. Now, you've probably heard a lot of people saying, don't eat 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. Yes, that's a really great place to start. But what we tend to do is we go switch the laundry, or we check our emails, or we get on our phone, we start scrolling on social media, and all of a sudden it's after 10, and now our brain is on fire, our body is on fire, and we're missing this beautiful opportunity to go to sleep and do some healing. So here's the magic. When you are in bed a little bit before 10 p.m., in fact, start winding down around 9 if you can, even 8:30 if you want to give yourself a little bit of a challenge. Turn off the screens. And you know what? You don't have to do this every single night, but if you did it, 4 or 5 nights a week, you will notice a difference. Turn off the screens, maybe go for a walk around the block, turn your brain off. Maybe you take a shower before you go to bed, read a book. No screen. Don't start looking at stuff in your bed on your way to going to sleep because it will turn your fire back on. Guess what? Here's the cool magic. If you are in bed and you are on your way to sleep between 9:30 and 10, you go into fat burning mode. Your fire does turn on, but if you're asleep, then you're fat burning and you're digesting and you're cleaning up your hormones. Your hormones need to be detoxed every day. So the idea is that you eat an earlier, lighter dinner, you turn down your life, turn the volume down on your life, and then get into bed and get to sleep. I promise you, if you start doing this, after about a week or so, you'll notice you're sleeping deeper, you're sleeping for longer amounts of time, you're waking up a lot less often, and you're burning fat, and you're cleaning out your body, gets a chance to do the detox. So this is one of the most important things outside of eating real whole food, fiber and protein. Going to bed is the key to balancing your hormones, to balancing cortisol. Cortisol is for the daytime. We definitely need cortisol, and it might be getting a bad rap these days because we think I'm overloaded with cortisol. Cortisol is giving me belly fat. My hormones are all out of whack because of cortisol. It's, we have a busy, stressful life, and we're living in a busy, stressful world. So it's true, our cortisol levels might be high for considerably longer amounts of time. That's why it's important to go to sleep. Sleeping is when your body detoxifies the cortisol. It brings more melatonin. Your body naturally makes all the melatonin. When you calm down the cortisol, the melatonin can rise up and then you get a deeper sleep. Okay, so yeah, I'm kind of hammering this whole concept home because I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to sleep. So we talked about the importance of eating an earlier, lighter dinner and going to bed so that you can burn fat and you can balance your cortisol levels, which is going to help you with your belly fat. I'm going to add, while we're talking about this stuff, I'm going to add some spices. I'm going to do about a teaspoon of granulated garlic to add to the soup that will give it some really nice flavor. And then I'm also going to add, whoops, this is brand new. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of lemon pepper. It will just give it a nice little kick, a nice little tangy flavor. And then I'm going to do about a half a teaspoon of turmeric. And you don't need a lot of turmeric. It will give it a really nice flavor and give it that anti-inflammatory boost. And I'm just going to add that to my sauteing vegetables right now. I also have some northern beans that I just used, canned organic northern beans, and I took them out of the can and rinsed them really, really well. You can also add any kind of protein you want to the soup. We made turkey meatballs in another video. I'll link that below so that you can go back and check that out to make some turkey meatballs. I also have some homemade chicken broth that I'm going to add here in a few minutes. And then we got our kale all chopped up. I'm going to go ahead and chop the basil and fresh herbs. Anytime you can add fresh herbs to your food, it's a fabulous, beautiful thing. Fresh herbs have a lot of calcium and also have a lot of vitamins and nutrients. Plus, it gives your food an amazing taste. Okay, so the number 3 tip for balancing hormones and reducing your belly fat and bloatedness is to make sure that your body does have fiber, protein, and fat. And I think we talked about that a little bit already, but the most important thing is that you are balancing your blood sugar. so that you have the fiber in your foods are detoxing, and it kind of bulks up things in your digestion and in your GI so that the nutrients can get to your cells and to your tissues. But it also does a little cleanup job on your GI. So it picks up anything kind of lingering and hanging on. That fiber will grab onto it and help you digest it the rest of the way. Protein is great for balancing blood sugar. And so protein is important. And you can have vegetarian protein, you can have meat, animal protein, you can have fish. Any of those protein sources are going to be very helpful to balance blood sugar. In fact, if you have a lot of sugar cravings, you might not be getting enough protein. So that's a great thing to add and see if that makes you feel better. So we talked about eating at regular meal times. Try to have lunch every day because your afternoon is when you're the busiest. I had one of my friends and clients text me the other day, and she said, I think of you all the time, Steph, when I'm considering grabbing like a protein bar or a fiber bar or some kind of a bar that's in a package. I stop myself and I sit down and make a quick lunch. And you can make a quick lunch so easily. That's in the turkey meatball video. I also have a really good quick lunch in the salmon dinner videos. So check those out. But eating a real lunch is key. It's going to give you energy. It's going to balance your blood sugar. It's going to help balance your cortisol response. Cortisol is what we're focused on because once we bring the cortisol down, we balance all the other hormones. So we're talking in depth about that in my Body Wisdom membership this month. So come and check it out. Please join us. You can join for a month, you can join for the year, but this month's theme is belly fat and bloating. I will teach you how to eat better so that you feel better, you have more energy, and you feel balanced in your hormones. Okay, so these are the 3 tips. Eating at regular meal times, making sure you have lunch, an earlier, lighter dinner, always filled, number 2, with protein, fats, and fibers. And then number 3, well, not in this order, all of them are equally important. The biggest one we talked about is going to bed so that you can get in fat burning mode when you sleep. Get in bed, shut everything down, bring your cortisol down, let your melatonin come up, get in bed by 10 o'clock, and then you will go into fat burning mode and you will detox all the hormones that your body doesn't need anymore. You'll get rid of that cortisol and you'll have more energy and feel amazing when you wake up. Our soup has a really good start to it. Let's bring this baby home, and we are going to add our northern beans into the soup pot. And then I'd like to add a little bit of lemon juice to it now too. Little lemon juice. It will give it some really nice, a little extra flavor and a little bit of that acidity, which will make it taste delicious and amazing. And then we're going to add our chicken broth. This is my homemade chicken broth that I started making almost every week just so that I have it on hand and have it ready to go to make these beautiful homemade soups. I'll show you guys how to make chicken broth sometime. I don't have a video about that just yet. So the next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna let this soup now cook for about 10 minutes, I would say, and then we're gonna add all the greens and we're done and we're ready to go. Let my soup come to a simmer. It smells amazing. Those beautiful spices and all the vegetables and my yummy homemade chicken broth. And now I'm gonna add this fresh kale that I chopped up really nice. Go ahead and give it a good chop, because have you ever had soup where you take a bite and you've got like green leafy stuff like hanging off the soup all over? It makes it kind of messy. So if you give it a nice good chop, it kind of helps just make it easier to eat. So I'm going to add these fresh herbs, give them a stir, and then it only needs to cook for really like 3 or 4 more minutes, and it will cook that kale so that it is more bioavailable, which means it's going to be easier to digest, and all of those nutrients are locked into that broth, so it will be absolutely delicious, nutritious, and hormone balancing and belly fat reducing. That's what we're here for. Our soup is done and it looks beautiful. I hope that you will make this soup. Honestly, did you see how easy that was and how quickly it came together? I'm gonna make a little bowl here with some, I've got the northern beans in there, and I've got plenty of vegetables, and this color is just amazing. beautiful and bright and delicious. So enjoy, bon appetit. And if you like this video, please make sure and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, that helps the channel grow. And if you'd like to have any of these recipes, or if you'd like to get more information about my membership or working with me one-on-one, I would be so honored. So please leave a comment below. You can always DM me on Instagram, which is Go Holistic with Steph. And I would love to meet. Let's get together, let's chat. I love talking all things family, health, wellness, food, busyness, cortisol, hormones. I love all of these topics and I'd love to connect with you. So I will see you next time. This is Nourish Me TV. Have a fabulous day.